India's forests. You picture them teeming with life, boundless. But now, it's more like a fragile echo, isn't it?
It really is. A stark contrast to what they once were.
And we're thinking about one animal in particular today, a symbol of this huge struggle for survival.
Yeah.
Can you picture this creature? So powerful, so elusive, it actually became the symbol of India's fight to save its wild heart.
The tiger. Its fate became completely intertwined with the nation's identity,
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. This is all about the remarkable story of tiger conservation in India. We'll look at the role of this legendary figure, Jim Corbett, and get into a really unforgettable encounter he had.
Yeah, our mission really is to unpack that whole journey, from near extinction for the tiger right up to the conservation efforts, and seeing it all through Corbett's eyes, his connection with nature.
We're mostly drawing on Jim Corbett's own writings for this, specifically from The Ways of the Jungle.
Fantastic source material. Really gives you a direct insight.
And for you listening, think of this as a shortcut. A way to quickly get your head around a critical conservation story and pull out some genuinely fascinating insights from, a master observer. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay, so to really grasp the conservation success, we need to paint the picture of the crisis first. Imagine this. 200 years back, India's forests, pretty much unbroken, right? Home to maybe 58,000 tigers.
An incredible number. Hard to even imagine now.
Right. But then fast forward to the 1970s, that population, it had just plummeted. Fewer than 2,000 tigers left in the wild.
It's a shocking drop. And the reasons were, pretty clear-cut, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Centuries of hunting, relentless hunting, plus massive habitat destruction. They were just squeezed from all sides.
The pressure must have been immense. It sounds like a real race against time. So what was the turning point? What was the first big step to try and pull them back?
Well, 1973 was huge, a really monumental year. The Indian government declared the tiger the national animal, and crucially, they banned tiger hunting completely.
Okay, a ban, that's significant.
Absolutely. And alongside that, they launched Project Tiger, a dedicated conservation scheme. And interestingly, it was actually launched at what is now the Jim Corbett National Park. That was in 1972, right when the numbers hit that all-time low of about 1,800.
Wow, talk about the 11th hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
And even with all these efforts, it's still true that seeing a tiger in the wild, even in a reserve, it's rare today, isn't it?
It is. They're still considered one of the most endangered species, despite everything.
Which just underlines why these national parks are so incredibly important, not just for the animals, but for us, for connecting with nature. Makes you think, when you go to a park, what are you hoping to see? What's that animal you'd love to glimpse?
Definitely. It puts it all in perspective.
So this brings us right to him. Who is Jim Corbett? Why name a whole national park after him? What's the story there?
Right. Jim Corbett, James Edward, Jim Corbett, born 1875, died in 1955.
Mm-hmm.
He was, a really fascinating figure, British Indian. Started as a hunter, a tracker.
A hunter first.
Exactly. But then he transformed, became this dedicated conservationist, a best-selling author, a really keen naturalist. He was even a colonel in the British Indian Army. Quite a life.
Okay, hunter-turned-conservationist. That's interesting. How did that happen? Because wasn't he famous for hunting man-eaters?
He was. That's the paradox, isn't it? He was often called in, usually by desperate villagers, to hunt specific tigers or leopards that had started preying on humans. He was seen as, the expert, maybe their only hope sometimes.
So he had this reputation.
Absolutely. But then, after he retired, he wrote these incredible books, Man-Eaters of Kuman, Jungle Lore, recounting these intense experiences. And it was that deep, intimate understanding of the jungle, gained through hunting, ironically, that made him such a powerful advocate for conservation.
Right, so he used that knowledge.
Exactly. He played a key role in actually establishing a national reserve, specifically for the endangered Bengal tiger. And that's why the park, the Jim Corbett National Park, bears his name. It honors that unique legacy.
That makes sense. It's quite a story arc.
It really is.
So to give everyone listening a real feel for his skills, his perspective, let's dive into one specific story. One of his experiences watching tigers. This isn't just an anecdote. It's like a masterclass in observation.
Yeah, this one really shows you how tuned in he was. Okay, so he was camped at the place called Sandni Gaga. It's about 3 miles from Pawalgar. And his aim at the time was actually to get some cinema footage, moving pictures of cheetal stags fighting.
That's the spotted deer.
That's the one. Beautiful animals. So about 100 yards from his tent, there was this forest road. little used apparently, connecting Kaladhungi with Paulgar.
And this road, this little used road, was like his morning newspaper, wasn't it? He'd walk it early each day.
He would. Just reading the signs, reading the record of all the animals that had passed through during the night. It really shows that deep connection you mentioned.
What kind of things did he see that morning?
Well, he noted tracks of a porcupine that had clearly got spooked by something and scurried back. Then a bear had crossed further up. And then a four-horned antelope with her fawn.
Oh.
Yeah, and he mentions the detail. The fawn's hoof prints were tiny. No bigger than the fingernails of a child, he wrote. Skipping around, apparently, until the mother got scared and they bolted into the jungle.
Incredible detail. So he's walking along reading these stories in the dust.
Exactly. He'd got about half a mile, he says, when something stopped him. Something unusual. He reached a part of the road where the ground was really hard, too hard to show clear tracks.
Okay.
And right there, on this hard surface, he spots this little furrow, just 3 inches long, maybe 2 inches deep, and crucially, it was at right angles to the road. Odd.
A furrow, like something dragged, or...
Well, that's where his deduction comes in. He looks at it, thinks about it, and concludes the only thing that could make a mark like that right there was the horn of a dead deer.
A deer's horn. How?
His theory was a tiger had killed a deer and then jumped down the bank onto the road, carrying the deer in its mouth. And as it landed, one of the deer's horns dug into that hard ground for just a moment.
Okay, that's some serious jungle detective work. But wait, if it was carrying it, why wouldn't there be drag marks?
Exactly. That's the key observation. No drag marks.
Right. So what does that tell him?
That's the really insightful bit. Corbett knew that tigers, and leopards too, whenever they can, they lift their kill clear off the ground. They carry it.
Why? To make it easier.
Not just that. Primarily, it's to avoid leaving a scent trail. If they drag it, they leave a strong scent path that scavengers, bears, hyenas, jackals can easily follow right to the kill.
I see. So lifting it is smart. It's strategic.
Absolutely. It shows their intelligence, their cunning. It's about protecting their hard-earned meal, minimizing the risk of losing it.
That's a fantastic insight, not just about tigers, but about predator strategy in general. Stealth, resource protection. Wow.
It is. So Corbett wants to confirm this theory, right?
Naturally. What does he do?
He crosses the road, looks down the embankment on the other side. Still, no drag marks. But then, about 20 feet down, on a bush, he sees it. A single drop of blood glistening. And he notes it was not yet quite dry.
The final clue.
Exactly. From that one drop, he says, tracking became easy. He followed the trail further down and, sure enough, found the kill. A big cheetal stag, magnificent horns.
And the tiger, had it started eating?
Not yet, it seems. What the tiger had done was carefully scratch together dry leaves and twigs from the forest floor and heap them over the stag's body, camouflaging it, hiding it.
Wow, okay. So kill found, theory confirmed. What now for Corbett? He knows a tiger's nearby.
Right. He knows there's a big tiger known to be in this area, so he thinks, this is my chance. Maybe not for filming stags fighting, but for observing the tiger. He decides to wait.
Where does he set himself up?
He finds a spot, the dead stump of an old tree kind of naturally roofed over with creepers, offering some cover. He carefully clears away the dry leaves around the base so he won't make noise.
Smart. Quiet is key.
Absolutely. And he positions himself about 30 feet away from the hidden kill. From there, he has a clear view down a narrow little valley, a glade, towards a small stream at the bottom.
Okay, the scene is set. He's hidden, waiting.
And then he does something really bold. Once he's settled, completely still, he gives the call of a leopard.
He calls like a leopard? When he's waiting for a tiger, why on earth would he do that? It seems risky.
It's definitely audacious, but there's logic behind it. See, leopards are smaller, less powerful than tigers, but they will scavenge a tiger's kill if they think it's safe to do so. And tigers absolutely hate that. They resent it.
Okay, so he's trying to provoke the tiger.
Exactly. He's banking on the tiger hearing the leopard near its kill and coming up the glade to investigate, to chase the intruder off. It's a calculated gamble to lure the tiger out and closer to him.
Did it work? Was there any immediate reaction?
Oh, yeah. Almost immediately, the red monkey's langurs, probably that were feeding high up in a nearby pipal tree, they started giving their specific alarm calls, chattering like mad.
Which tells Corbett
that the tiger is definitely close by. The monkeys have spotted it or sensed it. It confirms the tiger's in the immediate vicinity. The anticipation must have been incredible.
I bet. So the tiger's coming up the glade now.
Well, this is where it gets interesting. As Corbett himself wrote, as usually happens on these occasions, the tiger did not do what I expected. There was a long pause after the monkey calls. And then Corbett just caught a fleeting glimpse of the tiger.
A glimpse? Where?
It sprang across the stream at the bottom of the glade and vanished instantly into the really thick jungle on the right-hand side of the glade, not coming up towards him at all.
Huh. So the tiger didn't fall for the leopard trick directly. What did Corbett make of that?
He figured it out pretty quickly. The tiger must have realized that if it came straight up the glade towards the kill, the leopard, Corbett, would see it coming from a long way off.
Right, the element of surprise would be lost.
Exactly. So the tiger decided to stalk the leopard. It used the stream and the thick cover on the right to circle around, intending to approach the kill and the supposed leopard from the side or behind.
Which means it was actually stalking Corbett himself.
Precisely. It was coming much closer to Corbett's hiding place than Corbett had originally intended or expected. That's quite a turn of events.
Definitely ups the stakes. Could he hear it coming? Through the dry leaves.
That's the incredible part.
Right.
He says the ground was absolutely carpeted with dry leaves, noisy stuff. Yet the tiger managed its entire stalk without Corbett hearing a single sound. Not a rustle, not a twig snap, nothing.
Unbelievable stealth. So when did he see it next?
The next time he saw it, it was suddenly just there, standing, looking down at his hidden kill, maybe 15, 20 feet away now.
Yeah.
Much closer.
Wow. And was it the big male he expected?
No. And this is where Corbett felt, as he put it, great unease. It wasn't the male tiger. It was a big tigress.
A tigress. Okay, why the unease? Is a tigress inherently more dangerous in that situation?
Potentially, yes. Corbett notes that even at the best of times, a tigress's temper can be unpredictable. And this was definitely not the best of times. She's near her kill. And Corbett immediately thought, it's quite possible she has cubs hidden nearby, maybe in that thick lime thicket he mentioned was in the area.
Ah, and if she had cubs?
She'd be fiercely protective and would absolutely resent his presence so close to her kill. He realized he was sitting far too close for comfort, given it was a potentially defensive mother tigress.
Okay, this just got incredibly tense. What happened? Did she see him?
She stood there for what felt like a long minute, just looking at the kill, seemingly undecided. Corbett. He literally held his breath. He said he closed his eyes until he was just peering through a tiny slit, trying to be as still and invisible as possible.
I can barely breathe just hearing about it. That minute must have felt like an hour.
Absolutely. The tension, knowing one wrong move, one sound.
So what broke the standoff? What did the tigress do?
Finally, after satisfying herself, presumably that no leopard had actually messed with her kill, she just quietly walks down the glade towards the stream. Huge relief for Corbett, I imagine. She lay down by the water, had a long drink. Then, calm as anything, she gathered herself, sprang back across the stream, and just melted back into the thick jungle cover she'd come from. Gone.
Wow. Just wow. An incredible encounter. So much tension, but ultimately peaceful.
Exactly. A breathtaking moment of observation and, you could say, restraint on both sides. The tigress assessed, decided he wasn't an immediate threat, and went about her business.
So, taking that whole incredibly detailed story, what's the bigger takeaway? What does this tell us, beyond just being a thrilling jungle encounter?
Well, I think it comes right back to Corbett's own philosophy, which he stated so simply. We have much to learn from nature if we keep our eyes and ears open. This matter is like the perfect illustration of that. It shows his journey, doesn't it? From hunter to this incredibly patient, knowledgeable observer. And ultimately, that deep observation fueled his passion for advocacy, for protecting these animals he understood so well.
It's that deep attention, isn't it? That almost microscopic focus on the details, the furrow, the single drop of blood, the reason for lifting the kill. It's like detective work, but in the natural world.
It is. And it reveals fundamental truths about animal behavior, about survival strategies, about the intelligence of these creatures. It's about respect, born from understanding.
So that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We've covered quite a journey from the brink of extinction for India's tigers through the vital conservation efforts like Project Tiger.
Yeah, and seeing how central figures like Jim Corbett were to that whole shift in thinking, his blend of, intimate field knowledge and this profound respect for the wild.
Absolutely. And that encounter with the tigress, it's more than just a cool story, isn't it? It really exemplifies the kind of insights that informed and still inform conservation. Understanding behavior is key.
Those aha moments, like figuring out why the tiger lifted the kill or understanding the stalking strategy, those aren't just trivia. They're fundamental insights. They highlight the importance of really seeing the world around us, not just looking at it.
Which leads us to a final thought for you listening. Just like Jim Corbett learned these incredible lessons by truly keeping his eyes and ears open in the jungle. What about in your world?
Yeah, what small, maybe surprising details in your own surroundings or maybe in your own field of work or interest might be sitting there waiting, waiting to reveal something deeper, some connection?
If you just pay that closer attention, what connections might you spot that maybe others are missing? The jungle has its secrets, sure, but maybe the everyday does too if we just learn to look, really look.
Something to think about.